everyone, welcome back. I am in the middle of sewing, and what I'm doing is I am sewing the backings onto those quilts, and I am using a treadle sewing machine, and this one is a Shuttle Bobbin, so that's what it looks like. And then so in order to thread the bobbin, it's this little rod instead of like normally if you have a sewing machine, you have like a round bobbin, and this is different. So, and also if you are wearing headphones, you might probably want to, turn this down in a second. Just warning you, it's going to be loud. So I'm just kind of swirling the thread on because you don't want to tie it on, because if you tie it, then you can like break a needle or something, because at the very end, you don't want it to tug. So you just kind of loosely swirl it on. Then there's a little hook here. You put that hook, pull this forward, go over this little thing, and pop it in. And so it just kind of pulls out and then pops in. There it is. And obviously it did not stay threaded, so we're going to thread it back through again. Okay. So there we go. And then as I treadle, this leather cord here will be going through the bottom, and this little screw part moves this little gear, which moves this, and it'll move back and forth, and it will thread my spool. So I'm going to give it a little start in my hand. And then I just tread. That's it. Just getting my leg workout for the day. I could probably have filled it up more, but I will stop here. Then you put it in the little shuttle. You take your string, pull it down, and then pull it back up, and then it should dangle. That's how you know it's in. If it wasn't, it would just fall out. Then you just, this side right here, I drop it in. Make sure it's still good. Pop that string back under. Because, uh-oh. Yeah, okay. Then I rethread my machine. And this is kind of boring. Then I go like this. And my needle threads left to right, so it's not in front. So that's different than a lot of modern machines also. There we go. Got the thread in. I didn't have to lick my thread. Don't do that, by the way. This might look weird, like an attachment. Like, it's a weird attachment to have on, but trust me, it works for what I'm doing, which is just lines. Then I do one stitch and when I've done the one stitch, it goes around the bobbin thread and I can pull it up through the hole. Then I just put this little thing back on and make sure my threads are off to the side, because occasionally you can get it tangled up under the needle. So you always want to make sure your threads go this way, because if they go back around, you can sometimes, I don't know, tangle it. I don't even know if you saw all that. Maybe you did. Anyway, now we're going to go back to sewing. And what I'm doing is, I don't know, can you see that? I'm just sewing straight lines. That's all. Sewing some straight lines to get the back on this quilt. And there we go. Maybe, there we go. That's the vintage quilt. The original lines were all over the place. Some of them were hand sewn, some of them were machine stitched, and I'm just machine stitching because there's no way I'm hand sewing everything after I've already hand sewn on a bunch of the squares. So I did wash the flannel. That's why you're seeing the flannel is like linty and fuzzy, because I did wash it, because I didn't want it to shrink after, you know, because if I had sewn it and then it shrank, it would, like, you know, be a little too bubbly. And while I like that look with modern quilts, I didn't want to put additional strain on this vintage fabric. And I thought it could, you know, if like this shrank and then, you know, this wasn't, the vintage ones weren't shrinking, it might cause additional strain on this fabric. So that's what I did. And you can see, like right here, you can see these two. These are ones that I added. And that one too. You can see I just chain stitched them on. And then I copied whatever pattern was in, like, I just kept going with the top stitching pattern that was there previously, so that it didn't look like it was a new fabric. Mending these quilts is going to take forever, but that's what I'm doing. And I have been treadling along. So I just thought I would show you how I wind a bobbin and how even that's an exercise. My calves are going to look pretty after this. Bye.